Oh boy. You can't make it up, Miami Dolphins fans. You can't make it up. You guys are pathetic. Absolutely pathetic, ladies and gentlemen. Holy freaking moly. You end up losing to the fucking Tennessee Titans. And the funny part is the Tennessee Titans dominated you guys. They dominated you guys. If it wasn't for those two just chaotic fucking fumbles, one by the return man, and then Derrick Henry fumbles it fumbles it, or I think it was a lateral, and whatever. But two freaking just crucial turnovers. The Tennessee Titans probably win this game by blowout. The Tennessee Titans guys being depleted, losing Jeffrey Simmons, and they found a way to kick y'all ass. Unfreaking believable. But yet I had to keep hearing for Dolphins fans that they're the best team in the National Football League. How, again, I'm not going to criticize them for not beating good teams. Listen, they did exactly what they were supposed to do. But this is what we've been trying to tell you, Dolphins fans. You need to be a little cautious of your football team. At least I'm trying to tell you that. Listen, you can celebrate. You guys are going to make the playoffs. But this is exactly why people don't take you seriously. This is why when people criticize you guys because you don't beat good teams, you still haven't beat a good team. Well, I guess technically you beat the Broncos. So I guess that's the only team that you beat that's over 500. So I guess that's a congratulations. But this is exactly why teams don't take you seriously. Because in these particular moments, in these particular big-time moments, you don't show up. And what we found out today is exactly what everyone knew, is that when Tyreek Hill isn't on that football field, I'm going to say this again, when he isn't on that football field, Tua regresses to being an average quarterback. And I love Tua. Like I said, Tua played at Alabama. I love Tua. I've been watching Tua since he played at St. Louis back when he was playing in Honolulu. I've been watching that kid for over a decade. But let me tell you something, man. Tua, he's not the perfect quarterback prospect. He needs everything around him to be perfect. He's a systematic quarterback, and there's nothing wrong with systematic quarterbacks, because pretty much a majority of the league are systematic quarterbacks. But when I keep hearing from Dolphins fans saying that he's an elite quarterback, I have to say, okay, well, let's see what he does without Tyreek Hill. I've seen Stephon Diggs for damn near 2 months not have a good game, not have 100 yards for the Buffalo Bills. Not have 100 yards. This has been the worst month I think I've seen Stephon Diggs play in a while. This has been a terrible month where he's almost become a non-factor for the Buffalo Bills. And yet I still see Josh Allen continue to play at a high level with both his using his arm and his legs. You take freaking Tyreek Hill out and Tua Tagovailoa becomes a different quarterback. He becomes a different quarterback. Tyreek has to be a factor, and I mean a huge factor. He has to go off in order for the Miami Dolphins to be the team that they are. It doesn't matter if you have Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard on your back end. It doesn't matter how good your defense is. If you're off, and by the way, that defense gave up 14 points with 4 minutes and 34 seconds. And your offense did jiddly shit as soon as they got the ball back. Did nothing with it. I saw missed open reads. I saw underthrows. And the scheme and play design today was fantastic by Mike McDaniel. But you know what? And this is something that you might have to question. Why didn't they run the football more with A-Chain and Mozart? Mozart had a good game. Why didn't you try to continue to run the football why? Why didn't you try to continue to run the football, especially when Tua Tagovailoa in that first half played like absolute garbage? You know what I'm saying? So that's something that you might have to be concerned about. You have a running game. Miami probably has one of the best rushing attacks in the National Football League. But my goodness gracious, man, that passing attack without Tyreek Hill is suspect. And Dolphins fans, it's time to live in reality. You are not as good as you think you are. You may win the division. You may make the playoffs. And if you want to celebrate that and use that as a Super Bowl, that is completely fine. But the point is that you just need to get to the dance. You don't have to win the division because you will not take the number 1 seed. You can have the division. For the most part, if you don't have the number 1 seed, it is kind of fucking useless. Yes, you could potentially have home field advantage. But let me tell you something. I would rather play in Miami in January than play in Buffalo in 20, 15-degree weather. I'd rather play in 65, 70-degree weather in January. That's gonna give my offense an advantage. What's gonna give my offense a disadvantage is playing in the freaking snow with 50 mile per hour winds. That's what's gonna give my offense a disadvantage. No one's scared to play in Miami in January. Your home field advantage truly works in September. It truly works in September when it's hot as all freaking biscuits. But Dolphins fans, it's time for y'all to live in reality. Right? Y'all been to heaven. Y'all seen it all. Right? You saw the 70 points. You saw the 40 point per game. You saw Tua go off. Tyreek, he deserves to be the MVP. Miami looked terrible without him. And then as soon as he comes back to the game, 60% healthy, all of a sudden that Dolphins offense transforms back to what we're used to seeing. But all we've been pretty much telling you Dolphins fans for months is that Tua isn't as good as you think he is. He isn't as good. And you saw the result. You saw the result. And even when Tyreek Hill was in that game, Tua still didn't look right. So it is what it is. Listen, you better get your act together because the Jets are coming. The Jets are coming. Then you're gonna get to the Cowboys. Oh boy, man, boy. Listen, the Dolphins will make the playoffs, but holy freaking moly, fuck around and find out, man. Keep fucking around, and who knows? The Bills may take control of that division.